during, while, within a certain time. Please call back during business hours. We lost power during the rainstorm. My puppy sleeps a lot during the day. I got an emergency phone call during my meeting. Let's go to Hawaii during the winter months. We got sick during our trip. My mom works part-time during school hours. There was a fire alarm during the test.
Learn. To gain knowledge or skill. To become aware. I learned a lot from my parents. Some people never learn. Will they ever learn? He quickly learned how to do it. I need to learn how to cook. She was surprised to learn that I was a teacher. The students learned about the Spanish Revolution in history class. We first learned of the problem last night. The child learns from watching others. The kids are learning the alphabets. She is learning ballet, around, in a surrounding path. He doesn't know his way around. How are you getting around? Let's take a look around. There are many tourists around. We like to travel around.
Around. Surrounding. She tied a ribbon around the box. We live around the area. Can you show me around town? How do we get around this building? We are going to travel around the world.
Usually. Done most of the time. It is usually quiet around here. That dosage is usually fatal. Our neighbors are usually loud. We usually eat breakfast at home. They usually walk to school. They usually talk on the phone. It usually occurs at night.
Form. The type or shape of something, the way of doing something. Paper that needs to be filled out with information. He uses various forms of teaching in his classroom. That is an extreme form of patriotism. He showed us what the substance looks like in its pure form. This is a basic form of a data table. The textbook is also available in digital form. They saw the document in its original form. He has a severe form of the illness. She researches ancient life forms. They are learning to draw the human form. Many insects look very different in their adult form. She filled out the application form. This substance can take many forms. He imagined a creature that could change its form. Fill out this form and turn it in. Make sure you sign the form. He wants to try new forms of exercise. This mineral naturally occurs in liquid form.
Form. To organize or create something. To make something into shape. They tried to form a task force. She formed the clay into a bowl. A bruise formed where the ball hit her. An idea formed in his head. Mold formed on the surface. Crystals formed in the cave. A smile formed on his face. They came together to form an alliance. Connect the dots to form a triangle. They formed a network of participants. The protesters formed a human barrier. The friends formed a band. I'm still forming an opinion. Put the words in order to form a sentence.
Meat. The flesh of the animal that can be eaten. I do not eat meat. She cut the meat with a cleaver. The meat is going to spoil if you do not refrigerate it soon. You should marinate the meat for 24 hours. Children should chew meat slowly. I am not a meat eater. These meatballs are too salty. The meatloaf is stale. I work in meat packing. She uses a meat grinder in the kitchen. Meat consumption is huge in this country. I prefer red meat. Raw meat was left on the counter. The refrigerator smells like rotting meat. The meat is very tough. Air. The invisible mixture of gases that surrounds people in order to breathe. The air of space above the earth. The window is letting in hot air. I really enjoy country air. The air is too thick. We cannot breathe without air. The swimmer gasped for air. These factories are polluting the air. Smoke is filling the air. I'm worried about air pollution. Does the hotel have air conditioning? When planning our vacation, we'll have to consider airfare. The military is responsible for air defense. We were worried about recent air crashes. He hit the ball in the air. We'll travel to Hawaii by air. The enemy base was visible from the air.
Air. To discuss or tell publicly. To send a message or announcement by television or radio. He airs his opinions openly. The television commercial was aired during the Super Bowl. The documentary is being aired on public television.
Day. A 24-hour period. Period while the sun is shining. Period while working. I saw him the next day. He will agree with me one day. It's a big day for her. It was just another normal day. Election day is next week. She can't wait for her wedding day. What a beautiful day. I love autumn days. Today was a fun day. We had a busy day. It is the first day of school. The day has come for you to leave. We will spend the day at the beach. How is your day? She is getting bigger by the day. They stayed in Hawaii for 10 days. He can do it in a day. The dog sleeps during the day. He was nervous on his wedding day. It is the last day of school.
Place. To put something somewhere carefully. He carefully placed the vase on the table. She placed the books neatly in the shelf. She placed her hand firmly on his shoulder. The blame was placed directly on her parents. His keys and wallet were placed conveniently by the door. She placed the napkin on her lap. She placed the baby in the crib. He placed his foot between the door and the jamb. She placed her book beside the clock. She placed her hand over mine. He placed the bag under the table. He placed the keys down on the table.
Become. To begin or start. He became an alcoholic at an early age. His problems have become a burden to his family. They became friends in college. She became a fan after watching her first baseball game. Going home for the holidays has become a tradition. Having a baby is becoming a reality. He is becoming the focus of the investigation. He is becoming great at golf. She became sad after she heard the news. She became lonely after her husband passed away. The kids became excited about their trip to Disneyland. Number. A word or symbol that represents an amount or quantity. Telephone number. I recorded the number. I was assigned a number. We limited the number of choices. We exchanged numbers at the party. I gave her my number. I called your number this morning. The number of crimes has increased. I estimated the number. We added the numbers. He doubled the number. I wrote down the wrong number. What is the maximum number of dogs you can have? Calculate the average number. They have an adequate number of items. He dialed the wrong number. What is an example of a prime number? I don't know the final number. The number is unknown. Do you know the model number? What's your lucky number? They have an infinite number of choices. What page number are you on? We got his apartment number. She has a huge number of businesses. Do you know your flight number? We have a small number of guests. Did you call the emergency number? There are a number of reasons. There are 3 in number. We are at number 10 on the list.
Number. To give a number to someone or something. The rooms are clearly numbered. The books are numbered according to year. They are numbered from 1 to 10.
Public. Having to do with the community. Belonging to everybody. Is there a public bathroom at the park? We applied for public housing. She had to complete 20 hours of public service. You need a permit to hunt on public land. Where is the public hospital? I usually take public transportation. Public spending is growing every year. You can park for free on public streets. She goes to a public school. He is studying public relations. He is a public employee. Public opinion is against him. I watch a lot of public television. There is public knowledge of the event. He made several public appearances. There was public uproar after the election. It is public record now. They received public funding. She experienced public humiliation after the scandal. We have a public duty to defend the land. She holds public office. I support public education. They put on a public performance. He provided public testimony.
Public. The community. Someone needs to inform the public. She tried to mislead the public. He was elected to serve the public. The show is open to the general public. He is afraid to be seen in public.
Read. To look at and understand written words. She is learning to read. I am teaching him to read. She can read English. Did you read the headline today? The judge read the verdict. I need to read my mail. I can't read the clock. I like to read poetry. You must read each sentence carefully. Can you read music? I can't read your mind. Read the instructions to me. I read aloud to the children. She can read Chinese fluently. He reads regularly. I recently read his book. I carefully read the report. Did I read that correctly? He is reading over his essay one more time. He is reading from the book. I read to him every night. We read about him in school. I read of the accident in last week's paper. I read about the war in my history book.
Read. The act of looking at and understanding written words, a book, article, or magazine. I was bored after a quick read of the first chapter. This book is a good read. This novel is a good read. I enjoy a good read.
Keep. Basic things in order to live. The care of someone or something. He is doing work around the house to earn his keep. You need to work for your keep around here. The children are in my keep for the weekend.
Keep. To have something and not throw or give it away. To stay the same. To continue to do something. Dry foods keep well in cool, dark places. Nothing keeps his attention. We kept our appointment. Keep the change. Keep your composure. Keep a copy for your records. Keep your distance. She keeps a diary. He kept his promise. Who is keeping score? Can you keep a secret?
Part. A piece or portion of something. A role or responsibility. His work is to assemble car parts. The work was divided into equal parts. She plays the part of the evil stepmother in the movie. He took part in the scandal. I need to go to the hardware store to pick up some replacement parts. The best part about working here is the customers. Did you see the first part of the concert? Last summer I traveled through the southern part of Mongolia. The upper part of my arm hurts. My children are a big part of my life. We sliced the pie into 8 equal parts. The robot is a combination of many separate parts. Names of body parts are similar in English and Spanish. She has a small part in the play. Do you have the part number for the broken piece? Cut the cake in 6 equal parts. She has a small part in the play. He is playing the part of Hamlet.
Part. To separate. I usually part my hair in the middle. The clouds parted, and the sun came out. The crowd parted as the singer walked through the aisle. After their big argument, the close friends parted ways.
Part. Not complete. A portion of a whole. She is part owner of the restaurant. I think the dog is part German Shepherd. It is only part truth. Start. To begin doing something. She suddenly started running in the opposite direction. He just started a new job. She started off as the company secretary. We are going to have to start over. She decided to start looking for a new job. He is due to start next week. I have to start packing for my trip. I started as a dishwasher and worked my way up. Let's start by introducing ourselves. Can you start from the beginning again? Let's start dinner with an appetizer.
Start. The beginning of something. She had a great start to her dancing career. Our soccer team had a terrible start to the game. She wanted a new start after her divorce. We got a late start to our trip. I didn't trust him from the very start. My favorite basketball team got off to a great start. Let's make a fresh start in a new city. Music signals the start of the ceremony. The contestants walked up to the starting line. My start date for the new job is January 3rd. We have different start times at school. Push the start button to begin the wash cycle. She didn't trust him from the start. She needs a fresh start in life. Everyone was hopeful at the start of the game.
Year. A period of 12 months. The period from January to December. We went to Europe last year. The past year has been very difficult for me. I haven't seen her in recent years. Our grandparents will be visiting us next year. They will be financially comfortable for the coming years. They've won the championship for 5 straight years. This is my son's final year in high school. They have been gone a whole year. It's been a big year for our team. She's had a bad year with the loss of her mother. He spent last year in Italy. It will take him many years to finish college. The new year began with good news. The year ended badly for them. This year is passing by quickly. The house should be completed by the end of the year. During the past year, we have had many life changes. I have worked there for 15 years. I have known him for over 10 years. I haven't seen him in years.
Every. All. Each. I have heard every excuse possible for being late. He is late every time. She likes every kind of ice cream. This plan has every chance of working. We have taken every step necessary. She makes the most of every opportunity she gets.
Field. An open area of land used for growing crops or raising livestock. An open area of land used for playing sports. A particular area of work, sports, or study. We walked between the cultivated fields. Their house is surrounded by grassy fields. The animals struggled to cross the muddy field. The cows stayed in an enclosed field during the day. They toured the neighboring fields. The children like to play in the wheat field. They are both well known in their chosen fields. He works in a specialized field of math. She works in the medical field. Alternative energy is a rapidly growing field. The playing field was too wet to use. The school has a nice football field. The tournament has a very strong field this year. They are researching the energy field. Not many women work in this field. He plows the fields every spring. It is important to irrigate the fields because of the dry climate. They fertilize the fields so the crops will grow. They are clearing a new field. The cows graze in the field all day. New fields in science are opening up constantly. He dominated the field and finished first. Companies are always entering different fields. They walked across a huge field. He is studying in the field of computer science. She works in the medical field. A dog ran on the field. The players need to behave off the field as well. Their innovations put them ahead of their chosen field. She is conducting a field experiment. He is doing field research. They questioned his field methods. We are taking a field trip to the Science Museum.
Field. To answer, to provide someone to be a representative in an election or competition. He spent all day fielding questions. They will field a candidate in the local election. The school is fielding a team in the tournament for the first time. Large. Big in size or amount. He is a large man. The house looks very large. His debt remained quite large. The plant grew very large. The jacket looked very large on her. Their house was exceptionally large. I wonder if this room will be large enough for our furniture. She has a very large house. Once. One time. I once owned that house. I met him once. It happened only once. They scored once in the entire game. I once knew a famous movie star. I once helped the police catch a thief. I once wanted to be a professional athlete.
Once. At one time. Former. A once famous movie star lives next door. The once famous athlete is now delivering pizzas. The once abandoned building is now a luxury mansion. The once homeless person is now a homeowner.
Available. Ready to be used or purchased. Able to talk or meet someone. That apartment is available. Water is easily available. When did that book become commercially available? Parking spaces are usually available. I do not have that much money instantly available. The doctor is currently available to see you. Tickets are available for purchase. School counseling is available to anyone who needs it. Extra textbooks are available from the teachers.
Down. To drink quickly. He downed his beer.
Down. In a low position or place. Sad. She feels down about her breakup. Hit the down arrow. Take the down elevator.
Down. Towards a lower position or place. He fell down. Please come down. Don't look down.
Give. To hand something to someone. To deliver. To provide. Did he give you an answer yet? She gave me her address. Can you give me an example? Please give me a description of the car. Can you give me directions to your house? She's giving an exam tomorrow. The nurse gave me some medicine. The doctor gave me a prescription. They finally gave us the approval we needed. Did she give any indication that she was unhappy? He gives a lot of donations to charity organizations. The president gave a medal to the hero. He gave me some advice. She finally gave me an apology. They gave his idea some attention. She gave the dirty dog a bath. My boss gave me a big bonus. Give me a call tomorrow. I gave him 2 choices. They gave me their decision. I gave her a good discount. The government gave us extra funding. I gave her a hug. The news gave him hope. He gave a lecture on global warming. That movie gave me nightmares. We gave him plenty of opportunities to improve. The organization gives many scholarships. He gave a statement to the police. They gave him a ticket.
Fish. An animal with scales, fins, and gills that lives and breathes in water and that can be eaten as food. He is interested in freshwater fish. They are doing research on farmed fish. It is expensive to buy fresh fish in this area. They eat a lot of smoked fish. He prefers to eat fried fish. He caught a huge fish. He keeps tropical fish in his aquarium. The fish swam around the aquarium. We are having fish for dinner. She cleaned the fish. You should marinate the fish before cooking it. He baked the fish for dinner. Fish tastes delicious. There are many fish species in this area. He has to clean the fish bowl. They are keeping track of the fish population. She cooked the fish fillets for dinner. Make sure you remove the fish bones. She went to the fish market. This recipe uses fish sauce.
Human. Relating to people. He's doing research on the human brain. She is studying human behavior. That is a human characteristic. His cartoons never have human characters. We are learning about early human civilizations. The human population is increasing rapidly. We need human volunteers for this experiment. I think that's just human nature. They found human remains in the lake.
Both, referring to two things. Put both hands on the steering wheel. I'm taking both girls to school. I have an infection in both ears. Both teams were disqualified for fighting. Try on both outfits. Make sure both feet touch the ground. I like both ideas, but I have to choose one. Both parents are coming to the piano recital.
Both. Equally. Used before two words that are connected with and. I would like both cake and ice cream. My favorite sports are both baseball and basketball. She is both smart and funny. I am both angry and sad about the incident. The children are both hungry and tired.
Local. Near someone's home, having to do with the area where someone lives, one specific part of the body. She received local anesthesia during her surgery. His whole family lives in the local area. We should support our local businesses. Local calls are free. The war veteran is a local celebrity. We live close to the local college. We subscribe to the local newspaper. Local time is 3 hours ahead of Hawaii.
Sure. Certain that you are right. Are you absolutely sure he's the one who stole your purse? I am completely sure about wanting to sell my house. I am not entirely sure I know what to do. She is almost sure she passed the test. He is sure about his test answers. She does not sound really sure about what happened. Make sure she doesn't find out about the surprise party. She was sure about her decision.
Something. A thing that is not named or specific. There is something wrong with her. There is something hiding in the closet. I know something about her, but I can't tell you. I need to tell you something important. I heard something outside. Every time I try to talk, something interrupts me. I have something for you. I left something on the doorstep for you. I need to wear something nice. Is there something going on at school?
Without, not with, not having or including someone or something. They left without me. I built this table without any help. I can do this without your assistance. I made cookies without sugar, and it was awful. Without water, the plants will die. He left without his umbrella, and it's raining now. My grandfather can't walk without his cane. I can't see anything without my glasses. I couldn't have done this without your support. I cannot do this without your help.
Can you go a day without talking?
Life would be boring without laughter.
Without. Not having or including something. Do you take your coffee with cream or without? Do you like brownies with nuts or without? Do you work better with a partner or without?
Come. To move towards a person or place. To arrive at a place. The bus comes every 15 minutes. This chance only comes once in a lifetime. A hurricane is coming. The mail comes in the afternoon. The announcement came as a shock. Come out with your hands up. Please come over here. Come to me. Can you come over to play? He is coming over soon. Please come back.
Me, referring to myself, form of I. Please come to me. Talk to me. Sit with me. It happened to me. Please stand with me. Give me the pencil. Give me one good reason. Don't give me that excuse again. Give me a minute. Give me your thoughts.
Back. The rear part of something. The rear part of the body. The opposite side of the front. The football player has a broad back. My back is aching. I have a tattoo on my upper back. Her back is not straight. He has a crooked back. He hunches his back when he stands. You should straighten your back when you walk. She hurt her back at work. Will you message me back? Lean your back against the wall. He pat his baby's back to put her to sleep. The exit is located at the back. He has back pain. I'm at home with a back injury. I have sore back muscles. She entered through the back entrance. The seats are in the back. I dropped my keys down the back of the couch. I've got pain in my back. She was lying on her back. He hid the gift behind his back.
Back. To return or go in reverse. To support. He quickly backed away. You need to back off. Can you back me up? I'm strongly backing this candidate. The employees unanimously backed the new policy. My business needs to be financially backed. She backed into a tree. He backed out of the narrow parking space. They slowly backed away from the barking dog.
Back. Located behind or away from the front. He came through the back alley. He damaged his back bumper. She uses the back bedroom. They are remodeling the back deck. She is sitting in the back row. Better. Higher in quality. Improving in health. This sofa feels better than our old one. They make better computers. She was considered to be the better candidate. You look better today. Hopefully, things will get better with time. She is feeling considerably better after the surgery. My brother is far better than me at art. We did slightly better this time.
Better. Of a higher quality. Of an improved health. I am better able to help you now. How can I better serve you? How can I better understand what is going on? General. A high-ranking officer in the military. He retired as a 4-star general. The general commanded his soldiers.
General. Having to do with everyone or everything, not detailed or specific. The class has shown some general improvement. They showed general knowledge of the concept. Can you give me a general description? We have reached a general agreement. She expressed general dissatisfaction with her job. They took a poll of the general public. He ran in that general direction. There was general panic after the earthquake. The tool has more functions than its general purpose. They discussed their general strategy. This is not intended for the general audience. There is general enthusiasm surrounding the announcement. The general reaction was not good. There has been a general decline in spending. The general requirements are changing next year. We had a general discussion about her concerns. There is a general trend towards change.
Process. A series of steps done to achieve a particular result. How can we slow down the aging process? Bad diet and no exercise speed up the aging process. We went through the process together. We repeated the process over and over again. The selection process occurs in the fall. How does the process work? Building a house is a slow process. Raising children is an ongoing process. Students studied the chemical process in science class. The aging process affects everyone. We learned about the creative process in art class. I'm trying to understand his thought process. Buying a house is not a short process. We are guaranteed due process by the law. The process of cleaning the oven takes an hour. The process for reporting student grades is slow.
Process. To change something through several steps. To prepare an official document, application, or request. We will process the information soon. The application was not fully processed. I quickly processed what was going on. Some requests are automatically processed. She processes the milk into cheese. The grapes will be processed for wine. Your paperwork will be processed by our office within a week.
She, a female mentioned earlier, that woman, that girl. Jane is really smart. She always helps me with my homework. She is my sister. She goes to school with me. She is a doctor. She is studying nursing. She is a great teacher. She lives alone in a big house. She does not understand English. She will stay with us for a month. She may get a raise. She might move to Japan next year. She can speak 4 different languages. Heat, warmth, hot weather, high temperature, cooking source. He's quickly losing body heat. They moved away from the intense heat of the fire. There is gentle heat coming from the floors. I can't handle this extreme heat. She's getting used to the dry heat. I try to stay out of the afternoon heat. Cook this over low heat. Don't cook that over direct heat. Their house has electric heat. I can feel the heat. This heater produces a lot of heat. The fire will lose heat quickly once it's out. The cover helps it retain heat. They're trying to create a material that absorbs heat well. The heat is really building up in here. Can you turn up the heat? They have electric heat. We are trying to reduce heat loss. She is suffering from heat exhaustion. I can't do anything in the heat. Make sure that's off the heat. Cook on high heat for 5 minutes.
Heat. To make warm. Slowly heat the soup so you don't burn it. Is the swimming pool well heated? Make sure the dish is heated up before serving. The oven heats up quickly. Can you heat some milk? Did you heat the pan?
Thanks. An expression of gratitude. I give my sincere thanks to all of my friends. We would like to give special thanks to the students. He gave thanks to all who attended the party. She received huge thanks for her dedication. He gave thanks for all of their hard work.
Specific. Exact. Particular. She needs to be more specific with her instructions. He is very specific about his food. Her demands were rather specific. The bride was very specific about her wedding gown. Certain issues are specific to men. What is your specific aim? He was put in a specific category. I don't have a specific date. She didn't give specific directions. It has a specific function. She had a specific request.
Enough. As much as is needed or wanted. He has enough room to stretch his legs. I have had enough food. She has enough flexibility at work to choose her schedule.
Enough. To the required or necessary degree or amount. It is bad enough that I missed the bus, but then it rained. She waited long enough for him to arrive, and then she left. Are you comfortable enough? Is the food warm enough? The assignment was easy enough for her to complete. This room seems large enough. He was not interested enough to stay for the whole show. I think the request is reasonable enough. He is smart enough for the job. Did you eat enough? He did not care enough to help his friends move. She recovered enough from the accident to return to work.
Long. Having a great distance from end to end. Lasting a great amount of time. That dress is a little long. His hair has grown long. His drive to work is fairly long. The meeting lasted unusually long. His hair was getting a little long. I wasn't sure if 2 hours would be long enough. We had a long discussion. It was a long afternoon. I took a long break. That was a long explanation.
Long. To want something that is not very possible to attain. He desperately longed to see his first love. She longs for reconciliation with her ex-husband.
Long. For a great amount of time. My library books are long overdue. I have long believed that she was guilty of the crime. I have long regarded him as family. I have waited long for this day.
Lot. A large amount, a large piece of land. They had an awful lot of work to do. We were allowed to park our cars on the empty lot. The city converted an abandoned lot into a park. Our home was built on a small lot. We ran into each other in the parking lot. The apartments were built on a vacant lot.
Hand. Part of the body at the end of the arm. Help or assistance. A role in a situation. He injured his left hand. She has beautiful hands. He has rough hands. His shaking hands gave away his nervousness. She made him wash his dirty hands before dinner. Are your hands clean? He grabbed the book with his free hand. This task requires a steady hand. He took her hand and led her into the room. She grabbed his hand in fear. He held her hand while they waited. He shook my hand before leaving. I felt his hand on my shoulder. She put her hand over her mouth to hide her shock. The student raised his hand with a question. He threw up his hands as a sign of defeat. Everyone was clapping their hands with the beat. She rubbed her hands to warm them up. Make sure you wash your hands. Her hands shook with fear. She ran her hands along the smooth wood. Can you give me a hand with this? Do you need a hand? She cupped her hands and whispered in his ear. He uses a lot of hand gestures when he speaks. Is there a hand dryer? He has a lot of hand tools. I used a hand mixer to make applesauce. The students are making hand puppets. I need to buy hand cream. He has a hand injury. They counted the ballots by hand. Reach out with your left hand and you'll find it. She grasped the note in her hand. He has a huge scar on his left hand.
Hand. To give. To pass something to someone. He practically handed them the win. They officially handed over power. He quickly handed over the stolen goods. He carefully handed me the vase. The teacher handed back our assignments. We handed in the essays. This recipe has been handed down for generations. They handed over the evidence. They agreed to hand over power. They refused to hand over the prisoner. He forced them to hand over their phones. He handed her a card. She handed her passport to the ticket agent. We just handed them the victory. Can you hand me a glass?